Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Levinson, managing partner with Levinson and Associates. And with us today, we have the Joseph Lochran, our marketing vice president here at the Levinson headquarters. And we also have Becky and Kara joining us as well from Lincoln Financial. So we have some great stuff to talk about. I know you hear me say this almost every week now. But as you know, it's our job to go handpick, certain carriers, products, sales programs, technology, and, figure out what's best and what's going to help our agents ultimately sell more product and help more clients. And at the end of the day, if you walk away with a few nuggets of information that will help increase business, this is a win-win. So we have handpicked this carrier today to present to all of our agents on the webinar. If you're listening to this live, great news. If you're listening to the recorded version, that's also great. But we do have some giveaways, okay? And I want to just mention the giveaways quickly. The reason why is because if you're listening to this live, okay, what we're going to do is if you go to our podcast channel, it's called The Bill Levinson Experience, and that's on Spotify, or that's on, if you have an iPhone, you can literally just click on, there's a purple icon that says podcast. You can click there and subscribe to the Bill Levinson Experience, or if you have an Android, go to Spotify. If you're on a desktop or laptop computer or any kind of tablet, you can also view all of the podcast episodes right from YouTube. So if you subscribe to either podcast channel or our YouTube channel, it's called The Levinson One, take a picture, take a screenshot, email it to me, and I will mail you either the free IUL book, which is a handout that you can literally give to a client to set an appointment, or we have an awesome disability book, and then we have a great power selling book that talks about all the ins and outs in the life insurance industry. So we have these three different versions. Send me the screenshot. Just take a picture with your phone or take a picture on your computer screen, whichever easier. Email it to me. I'll mail you a free copy, include shipping. And these books are also available on a co-op platform as well, where they're literally $5 a piece. We pay for half of the charge, and these are great for giveaways, especially to set sales appointments for your clients. So just kind of think about that as you see the book in the next few slides. But again, I'll send you a free copy. Just send me a screenshot. Okay, so with that said, what you're looking at in front of you is the Bill Levinson Experience launch, which came out January 1 of 2019. And, the whole purpose of the podcast, and I don't want to confuse anyone, I don't want you to think, oh, wow, Bill's a DJ now. He's, getting into making his own podcasts and videos. And no, the bottom line is the purpose of this series was to really help our agents and motivate you, inspire you, and listen to real life stories of other big influencers in our industry, okay, and outside of our industry. And, I'll just tell you real quick, it's only been a few months since we've launched. We already have Jeff Levitetz as our first guest speaker, and he's a Forbes 150 member. He also got the Cleveland Clinic Man of the Year award 2 years in a row. He's a local, well-known billionaire, okay, self-made billionaire. He's also been my mentor for over 20 years. He's on the first episode. I have Kerry Levinson, my father, is on the second episode, which is also great to hear his story, and he's got some great field stories when he was an agent back in the MetLife days. So that's a good one. Number 3 episode is actually the guy that you're looking at in front of you, has nothing to do with our industry, but he is literally the world's top marketing social media guru. Okay, if you haven't heard of this guy, his name's Gary V. Also, his real name is Gary Vaynerchuk. If you haven't heard of this guy, look him up on Google. He has over 4,000 employees worldwide. They have 4 main offices. He is an animal when it comes to marketing. And what I did here is I sat down with Gary one-on-one. This was just 2 weeks ago in New York City at their home office. I sat down with him one-on-one, and, I didn't necessarily want to talk about insurance because, he's kind of on the outside. He doesn't really know our industry, but I wanted him to share with everyone and some tidbits, some advice, knowledge, motivation on marketing in general. Tell us about, if you were an agent, Gary, this day and age, how would you market yourself? And, what would your website look like? And what kind of stories would you put together on your YouTube channel? How would you spread the word? So we have some great back and forth. That episode is available right now. He's also in fact, I think he wrote 5 different books now that were all top sellers on Amazon. I think he's going on number 6 now, but he's got some great insight. I can't stress it enough. This is well worth your time spent if you're at the gym or walking or driving to an appointment or the office. Check it out. These podcasts episodes were developed with our agents in mind to help motivate and inspire each and every one of you out there on this call, and even if you're listening to this after the fact on the recorded version. So check it out. It's my gift to you. Obviously, it's a free subscription. We don't make any money on this, but it's a gift just to help our agents. It's crazy, too, what I'm finding out. I was just talking to a friend of mine this morning, and, what I didn't even realize is by doing these podcasts, and I'm trying to shoot for, once a month to have these live episodes, I'm learning so much, and I'm asking questions and of things that I want to know. And because, no one's perfect out there. And if I can walk away with some great inspiration, motivation, new ideas to help us market, then that's really a win-win-win in my eyes. So I've learned so much throughout this, and it's just been a great experience, and I hope you feel the same. We have Joe Ross is also coming up in the next 2 months. He's going to do a live episode. He's one of the top insurance trainers in the industry. I also have Bill Atley, who's the founder of iPipeline. So he's got some really, really cool stories. And we talk about how we met, years ago. We were sitting on panels, preaching to all these carriers on why it's so important they need to have an e-application and e-policy delivery, and how they used to look at us like we had 10 heads. They said, no, you're crazy. No insurance agent is ever going to go online and fill out an application. They'd rather print, 20 pieces of paper and do it the old school way. And we said, no, you're crazy. The younger generation wants things online. Sure enough, today, 99% of our insurance carriers have a e-application of some sort. So, it's just funny. It's really some great stories and good insight that we share, and I think everyone will get some great knowledge from these. Okay, moving forward, what we're going to talk about today is a great carrier that's one of our core carriers, in fact. And, Becky and Kara is going to bring some great insight from the home office perspective. The reason why we handpicked Lincoln Financial is they're A+ rated. They have one of the only true table shave programs where they literally shave off 3 tables. There's no gray area or small print. As long as it's a permanent product and the client is under age 70, you're in. But they have some other great niches, cigar smokers and chewers get non-tobacco rates. They have some great premium finance programs available now. They're also going to talk about the Foreign National program and a brand new indexed universal life product that's taking over the industry in that sector. So we wanted to invite them on to share some of the great bullets that Lincoln has. They have a great story behind them. They've been around a long, long time. I remember back in the Jefferson Pilot days, going to conventions as a kid. Now, obviously, Lincoln Financial has taken over. So they're going to share some great insight. Take out a pen, paper, jot down notes, questions, comments. We want to hear from you. There's also a question box on the bottom right corner. You can type in as we go. We'll do our best to answer all of your questions. Now, what we did to help everybody, in that same box on the right-hand side, where it has all your webinar controls, you're going to see 4 attachments or PDFs. So we wanted to put things together like a little library for you to download and print either during the webinar or when we're done. We have a premium finance guide. You can literally just click and print. Then we have a leads for contracting coupon. So the way that this works, if you already have a Lincoln contract today and you want to transfer it over to Levinson, we match or beat your existing commission, plus you get free exclusive leads just by transferring your contract and writing an application, okay? Then right under that, let's say the third icon down, under that red attachment, it looks like a PDF icon. It says Life Sales Coupon. What we also did just for today's webinar, if you write a Lincoln Financial application within 30 days, we're going to send you a few free orphan leads on us. Plus, we're going to match or beat your existing commission. And then, if you want to get started, you're ready to come under Levinson, just click on that last icon, and that is your Lincoln Contracting. Now, if you have an application to write, you can use our online system. But if you want to get set up now, either way, just click on that icon, and you can get started. Okay, let's move forward here. We're going to jump right in. So what we wanted to do here was give everyone a 100-footer just to show you where to go on our website, okay, to leverage some of these resources. So we started a premium finance section, and years ago, to qualify for premium finance, you had to have a net worth of at least $2 to $5 million. Nowadays, it's a totally different ballgame. If you have a client that falls into our parameters, that's even making at least $100,000 a year, we can look into some options. So what we wanted to do is put everything together in one section on our website. If you go to kerrylevinson.com, you hover over Premium Finance, all of the material is in the bottom left corner if you follow that blue arrow. Very, very simple, okay? Very black and white. We also have client material if you're going to a presentation or you're holding a seminar or webinar, some great stuff there as well. Advanced marketing resources. Now, if you're looking at, any kind of business type of policy, a key man or buy, sell, really all the above, okay? It could be index universal life. You're looking at 1035s, withdrawals, loans. All of the information is under Advanced Marketing Resources. You'll see Lincoln Financial Group on the left side, one of our core carriers. All of the information is at your fingertips. Foreign nationals. Now, if you're in California, Texas, Arizona, Florida, okay, there's a huge market for foreign nationals, and Lincoln has a great program. And again, to simplify your world, we have everything under the Foreign Nationals tab. Just, again, follow that blue arrow, everything at your fingertips. Okay, moving forward, you're going to hear about a great indexed UL by Lincoln. They just rolled out. Now, what we have, it's the first time ever we have carrier-approved indexed universal life sales software, okay, that you can use to sit down with a client, either face-to-face, over the phone, on a webinar, seminar, and you can show them the existing IUL illustration and compare it against any type of investment product and show why an IUL is the clear-cut winner. This even puts together a one-page quoting illustration system for you and your client, and it breaks down everything in a very black and white, user-friendly way. So even a final expense or mortgage protection insurance agent can sit down now and sell an IUL product and sound intelligent by using our software. And once you start writing, this is free. Okay, so lots of value here. We even have certain carriers and products that literally will take the illustration and populate all of the information into the IUL Sales Consumer Presentation. So you don't have to do anything. It's the first time a carrier ever approved an IUL software platform. So then what we did is we tied in a Indexed Universal Life consumer book that basically educates your consumer client, right, and teaches them why an IUL product is so important these days for cash accumulation, retirement purposes, any young professional that just started a family, why it's so great to have this guaranteed death benefit, guaranteed premium, to have these great current interest rates tied to the S&P, and how the cash accumulation can help out a family for college, or, let's say for a loan or withdrawal situation. So it basically will set up the appointment for you. These books are literally a co-op price of $5. Okay, and these are included in our program that I mentioned earlier. I said, if you take a screenshot of just telling us that you're subscribed to the podcast or our YouTube channel, we will mail you a free copy, and you will see how great it is. It's done very, very nicely in layman's terms, so any consumer can understand why it's important to have an IUL, and they'll be ready to set an appointment for you. Okay, enough of my rant. Without further ado, I want to jump right into today's feature presentation with Becky and Kara from one of our core carriers, Lincoln Financial. Are you there?
We are here. Thanks so much, Bill. This is Becky. Can you see my screen now?
I think it's loading. Yep.
I think it is. Give me 1 minute. Let me know when you see that on your end. Got it?
Yep. Is that Abe?
That is Abe. Our good friend Abe. Great. Thanks again for asking us to join you today. We really appreciate the time and for letting us showcase some of the foreign national guidelines we have, premium finance new guidelines that we have this year, the updated IUL product we introduced in February, and then, as you mentioned, some of our underwriting niches and our new tele-app interview process as well. So we'll touch on a lot today. So appreciate the time. So what I'd like to do is spend a few minutes to introduce you to the new Wealth Accumulate IUL that launched in February, and it's designed for accumulation and distribution. And what you'll find with this product is that it's different. So hopefully you've seen the numbers already. If you haven't, I actually can't wait until you see them, because what you're going to find is it's highly competitive in regards to account values, distributions, and targets. In addition to that, we also added a guaranteed return of premium rider, which is unique in the cash accumulation IUL space, and adds another level of protection that is going to be really important in this evolving marketplace and will be a key differentiator here for Lincoln. What we wanted to bring to this new product was flexibility in terms of the indexed accounts and the various loan types that you can run. It's flexible today when you illustrate, flexible tomorrow when you place it, and then flexible in the future when needs change. And just to take that a little bit deeper, what we mean by this in terms of flexible today is that this is not a niche product. You don't have to run it at a certain rate or in a certain pay duration or age to see the product's competitiveness. Wealth Accumulate 2019 is going to show up in various scenarios, and especially the real-life scenarios that you're working on every day. It's flexible tomorrow. We now offer 4 index accounts to choose from, as well as a valuable illustration one-pager and sales concepts in WinFlex and Design It to help support the sale and help make the conversation easier. And it is flexible in the future. The client will have a choice in how they grow their money by choosing accounts that best align with their goals. They will also have a choice of how they access their account values, either through withdrawals, guaranteed fixed loans, or guaranteed participating loans. Let's talk a little bit about what we kept, what we improved, and then what we added to the 2019 version of this product. Number 1 was consumer-friendly language. You'll find this in our marketing materials, our statements, and our illustrations. Even the naming of our accounts was designed to help the consumer understand the differences. We also held true to providing account cost transparency and offering choice to our customers. We maintained the Conserve account as the feedback we received is that this account was valuable now and in the future. We continue to offer one of the best post-issue policy management platforms, which we think is a key differentiator for us. So what did we improve with this product? Clearly, the illustrative competitiveness. Our multipliers are now guaranteed starting in year 1. We enhanced our accounts, which I will walk through in a minute, and we went to work on our underwriting and new business processes, making updates to help you place the business. And then what we added, our voice to customer feedback was, we love the product, but you need some more upside. So we added a buy-up index account that will have a 12.25 cap on it, and that will introduce the opportunity for additional upside, which makes a whole lot of sense when you look at younger individuals, those with a more aggressive view on the market. We also have a new multiplier, and it's a variable multiplier that can be added on top of that guaranteed multiplier. And then finally, a return of premium rider. Let's look at the account options and the new Wealth Accumulate IUL. We have 2 accounts for the customer or producer that wants to capture the most upside. The Perform account will be our default in the system and where we expect the majority of business will be placed. Then for those looking for additional upside, they can buy up into the Perform Plus. We also have 2 accounts for the customers that are looking for upside with a balance of cost control, the Balance and the Conserve accounts. So the Conserve account didn't change. It still has the lowest return potential of the 4 accounts, but that's because the intent of this account isn't to provide the most upside, it's to provide them with both downside protection. So it has a current cap of 8.75 with a guaranteed floor of 1%. It offers a guaranteed persistency bonus at 35 basis points starting in the first year. It doesn't have any variable multipliers, and it doesn't have any additional charge. Now, what about the Balance account? This has a medium return potential because it has a 10% cap and a 0% floor. It also has a guaranteed multiplier of 28%. The Balance account also has the opportunity for additional upside through a variable multiplier. And with this variable multiplier, it's about a medium benefit to this client. There is an additional asset-based charge of 2% for the Balance account. Now, the Perform account has a high return potential. It has a 10% cap and a 0% floor, just like the Balance. But the guaranteed multiplier is double the Balance at 56%. It too has a variable multiplier and can provide a high potential for that variable multiplier using that Perform account. It has an asset-based charge of 4%. Then we have that buy-up account, the Perform Plus, that has the highest return potential because it has a cap of 12.25. It has the same guaranteed multiplier of 56% and the Perform account, but it has a variable multiplier with the highest range. And like we would expect, it also has the highest asset-based charge at 6%. What we wanted to do with this product was be very transparent in regards to the guaranteed and variable multiplier, and also the additional charge the client would see with those different indexed accounts. I also want to mention that you can blend account allocations. So essentially, you can offer this product with anywhere between a 0 to 6% asset-based charge. So what is the variable multiplier? It's called a positive performance credit. When the policy benefits from the guaranteed multiplier, that policy receives an additional bonus the next year with an additional multiplier. So you'll get your 56% guaranteed multiplier every year in the Perform and Plus accounts, which is added on top of your indexed crediting. Lincoln took this a step further and is rewarding the client an additional bonus for continuous years of positive performance. What makes it variable are the components that go into the multiplier. That is the range that Lincoln sets, the actual index performance, as well as each client's individual policy values. such as premium payments, accumulation, and income. One of the great new features for this product is the guaranteed return of premium rider. It provides 100% guaranteed return of premiums paid upon full surrender of the policy. If the market underperforms, there is a one-time opportunity to exercise this rider at the end of the 20th year. It's available for policies up to Table D and for issue ages up to and including age 60. There's no charge for this rider, but there is a cumulative minimum premium requirement. Now, there are some caveats that we want to make sure you're aware of. It's not available with the exec rider for high early cash value or unguaranteed issue or simplified issue cases. It is, however, available with the surrender value enhancement endorsement. One other thing to keep in mind is the client can't take distributions or accelerate the death benefit prior to exercising, and it's only available on death benefit option 2 cases, which is increasing by cash value. We've heard time and time again that if you can't illustrate it, you can't sell it. And so what's really cool about this rider is that it shows up in the illustration. In fact, the illustration software will automatically show a 100% return of premium in year 20. If you look at the guaranteed ledger page of the illustration, you'll see that for this example, we had $200,000 in premium paid in over 10 years, and none at the end of the 20th year. And this, again, is on the guaranteed charges page. We see that the cash surrender value jumped from $26,000 the year before up to $200,000 there in year 20. That's a great way that you can again show your client that this is a real feature and a real benefit, and it's right there in the illustration. So that's the Wealth Accumulate 2019, designed to be an industry-leading accumulation-focused IUL with choice and flexibility. Again, flexible today, flexible tomorrow, and flexible in the future. I also wanted to be certain you were aware we updated our protection-focused IUL product in February as well, and that's called the Wealth Preserve IUL. That product offers a guaranteed cap of 8.75 for the first 10 years and a guaranteed multiplier of 55% in all years. So again, another competitive IUL to look at for your clients. So now what we'd like to do is make sure that you're aware of the different ways that you can submit your business to Lincoln. So we have the traditional submission process that you're all aware of, where you can fully complete the paper application and sign it prior to issue. What we've found with this process, as Bill had alluded to earlier, is that there's a greater opportunity for missed signatures, dates, and questions. Also with this submission process, there's no opportunity for lab-free underwriting here at Lincoln. This process does, however, provide the least amount of documents to be signed upon policy delivery. Now, our Link Express tele-app process can start the application with as few as 4 forms plus a ticket and can be submitted either electronically or via paper to Lincoln. What you can do is outsource the asking of the tele-app questions to Lincoln, and we'll ask all those medical questions during the tele-app interview. Submitting the tele-app also provides an opportunity for lab-free underwriting for your clients from ages 18 to 60 and for $1 million or less of insurance coverage. The full application would need to be signed upon policy delivery. And we'll be sure to follow up after the call with a brochure that walks through the Link Express tele-app process if you're interested in learning more. We also wanted to touch on some of Lincoln's competitive advantages as well. These include the table reduction program that Bill mentioned earlier, where a client can move from a Table C to a standard rate class. This is available on permanent products only, up to $10 million of coverage, and up to age 70. It's also available on our survivorship policies as well. We can offer our non-tobacco rate class to those applicants who use cigars, pipes, and chewing tobacco. Please note that this would exclude those clients who vape and use Chantix. Those would still be at the tobacco rate class. And one other additional item is marijuaners can also be rated a non-tobacco rate class. We can also offer our preferred classes to marijuana users, depending on the frequency of use. Also, those applicants with treated hypertension and certain cancers can qualify for our preferred classes. And our last bullet point is that we no longer require EKGs, no matter the face amount, when applying for coverage with Lincoln. So those are just a few of the competitive underwriting advantages here at Lincoln. So as you can kind of tell, we're off to an exciting start here at Lincoln. From product reprices, updated underwriting guidelines, and process improvements, as well as dedicated resources that will help you achieve your goals in 2019. While these enhancements all add to the ease of doing business with Lincoln, I'd have to say the most impactful change to premium finance would be the repriced Wealth Accumulate IUL we discussed earlier today. We've also updated our premium finance guidelines, which we would like to touch on next. So our first premium finance guideline revision was around the client profile and more specifically age. We will now consider those 70 or younger for premium financing. The additional client requirement we revised was around net worth and income. Lincoln will still need a required net worth of $2.5 million with an income of $250,000 plus on ages up to 50, and a net worth of $5 million with an income of $250,000 plus for those ages 51 and up. But now this guideline will be looked at on an either-or test at the discretion of the underwriter. An example being a young professional, maybe an anesthesiologist, who clearly has the income covered but hasn't quite hit the net worth. This would have not met our previous requirements, but now at the underwriter's discretion, we can consider for premium financing. And although it's not a change, just also wanted to mention the proposed insured will still need to exhibit the capacity to pay the minimum annual level premium, and premium amount must still fall within reasonable income and net equity ratios there as well. Additionally, we now allow wealthy global clients to commercially finance their Lincoln policy using a special set of guidelines. Kara will provide you more details on our foreign national guidelines next, but we wanted to ensure you were aware we can now look at premium financing for our global clients. They would need a verifiable $10 million plus in net worth, $250,000 plus in annual income, be age 70 or younger. The financing must be with a U.S.-based lender bank, and interest must be paid annually, so no accrual of interest is allowed for our global clients. And for our high net worth clients, we can now consider allowing loan interest be accrued or borrowed. So this will only be for our U.S. citizens or permanent residents. Again, age 70 or younger, 10 million plus net worth. That loan principal and interest must be fully secured and collateralized. There's a signed disclosure and acknowledgement form for that, and the duration of the interest accrual must be 10 years or less. And it's important to note that we'll still need to see a well-defined loan payment plan and exit strategy, and then non-recourse premium finance is strictly prohibited as well. So for traditional arrangements, this is just a side note to Lincoln's ongoing position that we don't really approve a specific bank. We approve loan arrangements with consideration given to the identity and the reliability of that lender. So the lender is presumed reliable when it is a top 200 bank, which is indicated by assets of $4 billion or more. So whether you're new to the premium finance market or experienced, we hope you see the opportunities you have to open new doors and reach your goals in 2019. And remember, you're not alone during the process. You have Levinson Associates. Lincoln also has a dedicated premium finance consultant, and there's also specialists in the field that can partner with you from beginning to end. So with that, I appreciate the time today, and thank you so much. Now I'd like to introduce Kara Moody, Lincoln's foreign national insurance consultant, to touch on this important marketplace. Kara?
Great. Thank you, Becky, and thanks to Bill and Joseph for having us on the call today. Question, who likes selling large life insurance policies? Well, I guess we all do, right? That's why we're here. And that's what we're going to talk about today, the foreign national market and how you can grow your business in 2019 and beyond in the foreign national market. So as Becky said, I'm Kara Moody. I'm Lincoln's foreign national insurance consultant. And another question, I guess, is why is Lincoln focusing so much time and energy on the foreign national market? And really, why should you? And the answer is that if you looked at Lincoln's foreign national business in terms of premium, 2017 to 2018, you'll see that it grew 88%. And I think you guys are aware of this, but our industry as a whole is not growing 88%. So there's something here. And so why have we been so successful? The answer to that is because global clients need and actually want U.S. life insurance. So here's an example of what that looks like. And this is a case that we recently worked on and placed. Actually, Becky was just talking about our Wealth Accumulate IUL. You can see some of the numbers there for an actual case here. This case happened to be a Mexican gentleman, business owner, has U.S. ties. He's actually a private banking client here, has a vacation home. And honestly, if you look at what are his objectives, a lot of those look familiar, right? He wants to protect his family. He's a young person with young children, makes a lot of money, wants to make sure that his family is protected. But that second bullet actually is different. A little bit different, right, than a domestic client. You do see wealthy domestic clients looking to diversify their portfolio. But this is a little bit different in the foreign national market because you sort of have people thinking about global diversification, currency diversification. And that's what's going on here. If you've kind of kept up with what's going on with the Mexican peso relative to the US dollar, the peso has devalued quite a bit over the past few years. And so clients like Miguel are thinking about, well, how do I make sure to protect myself from that currency volatility? So he really likes the idea of having a US financial asset like life insurance. And by the way, what separates him from his peers is that he has these US connections that allow him access to these types of products. So he's taking advantage of that. What did we do? What did the case look like? Well, it ended up being a $3 million Wealth Accumulate IUL with an increasing death benefit. We overfunded it for 10 years. So you can see there that the premium is not a small premium. It's $176,000 or more actually per year. And what you end up with is quite a bit of cash value as illustrated at our AG 49 look back rate of 6.12% at age 65. So he puts in just over 1.7. At age 65, he has over $3.7 million available to him. But what's pretty interesting is that if he doesn't need that, doesn't want to take any income out of it, he could end up with, at age 85 or life expectancy, with over $20.2 million of life insurance benefit for his family. And by the way, the same U.S. tax benefits that apply to domestic clients also apply to international clients. Now, how is it taxed in Mexico? We can't tell him that. He's going to have advisors that he can rely on. But those U.S. tax advantages are really powerful for these clients. So that's one foreign national client. But if you look at the whole foreign national market, who are we really talking about? AKA, who do you know? Who could you get in touch with? So there are really three buckets of clients that we see coming to Lincoln. One is non-citizens who don't live in the U.S. full time, but they invest here or they do business here. They may even live part of the year here. And a lot of them actually own property. And you're going to see a pretty mind-blowing statistic here in just a second. This bucket is really the biggest opportunity. You notice from the last case we looked at, it wasn't a small case. When we went back and looked at our 2018 sales, we looked at target. We actually do target plus 5% of excess. That's how we measure our business. the average case size was over $60,000. So these do tend to be bigger cases, and they do tend to come from this bucket of clients. Second bucket, non-citizens who have moved here, either indefinitely because they are working for a U.S. company, or they've moved here permanently to build their lives and have their families here permanently. So think about the companies that might be in the area where you live. Are they bringing people here to work? Last bucket, U.S. citizens who work abroad, retire abroad, or maybe are just world travelers. They spend a lot of time in other countries. That's an opportunity as well. And we don't think about those people as being foreign national clients, but life insurance companies do. And so think about what we just talked about a second ago. Companies that are bringing people here are also sending people abroad. Who do you know? And a lot of times clients are planning to retire abroad, or they have retired abroad where their money goes further. Did they know that they can still apply for U.S. life insurance? So these are the groups of clients that we're working with, but to understand why they want to come to Lincoln or other U.S. carriers for life insurance, we really have to look at the overall opportunity. If someone were to ask you, what is the wealthiest region of the world right now, what would you say? It's actually Asia Pacific. It's not North America anymore. So you have global wealth shifting outside of the US. You also have it growing. So if you look at the stats on the screen, the number of global millionaires, the number of global ultra high net worth individuals has grown by triple-digit percentages since the year 2000. I don't think that's necessarily surprising to anybody, but we're all sitting here in the US market, in the financial industry here, saying, wait a second, should we be worried about this? But the answer to that, in my opinion, is no, because the US is still seen as a very interesting place to have assets. And just a couple stats on the screen right here, that real estate statistic, I still can't get over that. How much US residential real estate was purchased by foreign buyers in the last 12 months? Over 100 billion. In fact, it was 121 billion. There actually should be another statistic coming out here shortly, and that's the National Association of Realtors who puts that together. But it's been over $100 billion for the last 5 years. When you think about it, what realtors do you know? They might be working with these clients. If you live in a city, if you live near a resort area, I mean, the opportunity is there. Another stat, and this is a little bit older at this point, it's from October 2015, but at that point, 20% of US stocks and 43% of US bonds were owned by overseas investors. I mean, that's huge. And so, obviously it's changed since then, but that goes to show that foreign investors really want US assets. And I guess then the question would be, okay, great, real estate is cool, a condo in Miami is cool, stocks and bonds are exciting. What about life insurance? On the domestic side, we're used to people not really wanting to talk about it. We have to sell it, really. But I will say the foreign national market is a market of buyers of life insurance. And why is that? Well, why do they come to us for life insurance? And the reasons you see on the screen, just like we talked about with Miguel's case, there are a lot of the same reasons that we're used to talking about: survivor income, estate and business planning. But that third one, asset diversification, that's huge in this market. And, what are the things about U.S. life insurance that make the asset diversification so interesting? Well, the reasons I have on the screen right here, we take those for granted in the domestic market. If you think about the clients that we're dealing with, wealthy clients who live in other countries, and it depends on the country, right? But a lot of times they're dealing with a government that they don't trust, or financial systems that aren't as stable or regulated. We mentioned currency volatility, and sometimes wealthy people even have to worry about things like crime, kidnapping, right? Because of their wealth. So they're looking for something that's reliable. And we know that the U.S. life insurance industry is reliable. It's highly regulated, right? That's attractive to these clients. they also really like the idea of control. I mean, who really doesn't like that idea? But if you have a wealthy person anywhere, they want to be able to say how their wealth should pass and to whom, how much and to whom. And in some countries, it's less certain. Other countries have laws, like forced heirship laws, for example, and to be able to give somebody control, hey, a life insurance policy will allow this amount of wealth to go to this person, that's huge. Along with the flexibility or the control element, flexibility feeds into that, right? And we know that a universal life policy is an incredibly flexible financial planning tool. I mean, there are only a few things that you can't change about it once it's in force, but you can reduce the face amount, you can pay more, you can pay less, you can take money out of it without asking Lincoln's permission, you can surrender it for the cash value, you can change the owner, you can change the beneficiaries. What you can't do is get it after you can't get it. And obviously health issues, right? That's usually what we talk about with our domestic clients. But with international clients, hey, if U.S. carriers change their policies, or if you no longer have a connection to the U.S. that qualifies you, you may not be able to get this anymore. Our product selection and pricing, although I feel for you guys because it is overwhelming, even just memorizing Lincoln's portfolio, there are all kinds of carriers and products out there, but that is such a benefit for these clients. Anything that they need or want, they want cash value growth, they want more death benefit, they want guarantees. We've got something for them, and usually for a very competitive price. Now, Becky and I can't talk about life insurance in other countries. We're not an expert in that field, but what I can tell you is what we hear all the time. And we hear all the time that we can get more death benefit in the U.S. market and we can get it for a better price. And by the way, we can underwrite people who aren't perfectly healthy. We have a sophisticated underwriting process. So that's really the asset diversification. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I'm pulling up here is what we just talked about. It's also viewed as very private asset. There's a non-correlation aspect. So that's really what's in it for the client, but what's in it for you as the broker? I mean, these tend to be permanent cases. They tend to be bigger cases. These are not really premium-driven sales. This is how much of that can I get, or how much can I allocate to this strategy? And it's really an ease of doing business and the availability of quality products. So usually what people say after this is, yeah, this sounds great and exciting, but I don't have access to these clients. I'm not from another country, I don't speak another language, but what I have up here on the screen showcases how we see people building their foreign national business. Truly, it's a partnership business, strategic partnerships with international estate planning attorneys, international tax advisors, realtors. We saw that staggering statistic, even P&C agencies, and really one of our biggest referral sources would be financial advisors and private bankers who work with these high net worth global clients, but aren't necessarily going to be talking to them about life insurance, or would rather have somebody like you coming in and making sure that their client is having a good experience, getting the best products for the best price. So really it's, you being the insurance expert at the table as part of that global planning team. I mean, there's truly a need there on the client side. The center of influence, on the other hand, is looking to build their relationships oftentimes, especially attorneys and CPAs. And a lot of these folks out there are looking to grow their revenue in their business. So this is sort of a win-win-win situation. In terms of what Lincoln has to offer, I mean, there are a few other carriers out there who have solid foreign national programs, but Lincoln has been really on a trajectory to improve the products, the marketing materials. So reach out to us. We have plenty of those, and our process for these foreign national clients. This is what the process looks like. And you're probably looking at this and saying, yeah, this is exactly what I do every day. What's different for global clients? Not much. What I will say, and here are a few things that you really need to know. The first thing is that the solicitation has to happen in the U.S. So even if you know a client who lives in another country, you can't really call them up and say, hey, I ran you a Lincoln illustration. Here's what it would look like for you. You can't send them a Lincoln brochure. You might be able to talk to them at a high level about the benefits of U.S. life insurance, but all the solicitation has to happen here. The application has to happen here. The delivery has to happen here. And so what you end up with is time constraints sometimes. It's the same process, but we all know that, oh, you missed a signature here, and you have to qualify this. We need another form for you to sign. There's some back and forth, and that's harder to do. But that's, again, why you work with an organization like Levinson as well, because they have a lot of expertise in making sure that goes smoothly. So that first box, field underwriting, huge in this market. Reach out to any of us here, and that's what we're here for, to help make sure that we have our ducks in a row before the app comes in. The other thing that you need to know is that there's sometimes an inspection report phone call that's done with the client, especially if the client doesn't have a social security number or tax ID number. And by the way, we can underwrite clients who don't have a social or tax ID number. We are going to ask for identification, but that will allow us to address those non-resident alien clients who have investments here, right, but may not have a social, may not have a U.S. tax ID number. But we're going to have to do a short phone call with them. And then on the delivery side, we do have suggested limited power of attorney language that can help us in some cases with delivery where a third party is accepting the policy on the client's behalf. So we're doing stuff to work and make the process easier. But again, that's what we're here for. So we want to help this go smoothly. What are the things that you want to do? Remember, we talked about that first step, the field underwriting. What are the things that you want to ask about with these clients versus domestic clients? Really three things. Nexus is the big one. And Nexus just means, what is your connection to the U.S.? Most U.S. carriers have their own rules about what qualifies a client for Nexus purposes, but most of us really can only do business with clients who have sufficient connection to the U.S., especially if they don't live here, if they don't have a social. Usually that's property ownership, investments or bank accounts, business interests. But you saw some of those statistics. There are a lot of people who fit into those buckets. The second thing is that we have to ask about how the policy will be owned. And honestly, I'm not going to spend a ton of time here because the only thing we don't allow is a foreign entity to own the policy. So if they own a business in another country, they can't have that business owning their policy. Country is the third thing. So if they're a citizen of another country, they reside in another country, or if they're spending a lot of time in another country, we're going to want to look at that and see if that qualifies. We have a list that's over 90 countries. And by the way, best class is available in all of those 90 countries. Well, if we can medically justify it, right? So we go table D all the way up to preferred plus for all of those countries. And all of our permanent products are available to foreign national clients. We don't have specially priced products or anything like that. They can get U.S. pricing. And again, that's why it's so attractive to these clients. Term, by the way, is available at least through Lincoln for U.S. citizens and green card holders, even if they're living abroad. So there are a lot of products that are available to these clients, and maybe they're not aware. Here are some of Lincoln's strengths. I'm not going to dwell on these, but Becky and I are here. You've got the team at Levinson here that, I mean, they know the breadth of the market too, and they can help you compare carriers. These are just some places that Lincoln plays. And by the way, I want to point out in the bottom right-hand corner, we just added premium financing for foreign national clients. I know you heard Becky say that, but I want to reiterate. And other than that, I just want to thank you for your time, and I hope this is a start of a conversation. We want to hear from you. We want to help you break into this market, or we want to be able to provide another solution if you're already in this market. Joseph, back over to you.
Yeah, no, that was great. Thank you so much. That was seriously one of the best Lincoln presentations that I've heard. So thank you both. All right, so we only have 5 minutes left, and Joe is going to talk about some freebies that everybody should have right now, and then we're going to end right before 2 p.m. Eastern with a couple giveaways. I'll reiterate, and then we'll end with our Positive Tuesday quote. Joe, you there?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So real quick, I want to make sure everybody has downloaded the Levinson mobile app. This is a really, really awesome free tool. It has single sign-on, secure content, real-time status for all your cases. I even spoke to an agent just yesterday who said this thing was awesome. They were out actually at the grocery store, ran a quote for a client. They were able to email it directly to them. You can even take an e-app directly from that mobile app. We have some underwriting software. So everything pretty much you can do from the CarrieLevinson.com website, you can do using the Levinson mobile app. So all you have to do is go to the App Store. Doesn't matter what type of phone you have, as long as it's a smartphone or even on your tablet, just type in Levinson and you can actually download it right to your phone. You'll see on this screen exactly what it looks like. You'll see the Levinson logo. You can log in and start using it today. So a phenomenal tool, absolutely free to every single agent. Also, I just want to mention coming up on Monday for any agents that are in the South Florida area, we're having a meeting in Boca Raton, Florida. It's actually Monday the 8th. We're going over top IUL and term options, living benefits, underwriting niches. It's co-hosted by Mutual of Omaha. It is a breakfast meeting, so if you're interested, reach out to our marketing team. We can get you enrolled. It's going to be about from about 9 a.m. to about noon. It's a great day, very quick meeting, but a lot of great material we're going to be covering. We'll also cover some of the Levinson platforms as well, including our agency automator CRM platform. And finally here, the Levinson Expo. This is coming up in just about a month, May 10th. It's a Friday. This is not just a day full of sales ideas and concepts. We're going to have probably close to 300 agents from all over the country. It is in beautiful sunny South Florida, right smack on the beach. But really the whole concept is to not only just learn sales ideas and what products are coming out and all the new news for the industry, but you're going to meet some top producing agents, MDRT producers from all over the country. You can learn about how they're using the different Levinson tools and platforms, what products they're selling, and kind of rub elbows with all those top producers and learn about what they're doing in the industry and how they're approaching clients, and especially how they're building their online brand using the Levinson tools, whether it's the Automator CRM platform, their free website, their social media marketing. You're going to hear some really great concepts and ideas. And of course, it is free for all agents to attend. In today's thank you email, you'll have the registration link. You can register. And of course, our special keynote speaker, Joe Ross, focusing on IUL products, probably one of the best speakers that we've seen in this industry. So really, really great times to attend. Also, some upcoming training events, that agency automator CRM platform that I mentioned. We have training every single day, Monday through Friday, including Friday, which is the best practices webinar, where you can learn about what agents are doing to use this platform and build more sales. And finally, next week, we're having a webinar at 2 p.m. on the 11th covering the settlement sales opportunity. You'll see an email in just a few days kind of announcing that. You can register and join just like you did for today's webinar.
Okay, good stuff, Joe. Thank you. And by the way, excuse me, everyone. I'm just a little under the weather, so you'll hear it in my voice a little bit. So I want to close with just a couple thoughts here, and then I see we're right on schedule by the minute. So good stuff there. All right. So first off, this is our last slide, obviously, but I'm just going to end with a couple thoughts here. Okay, and then I'll go over the incentives and end the call. I ran into a friend of mine about a week ago at the gym, and I'm riding the bicycle, and he comes up to me and says, "Hey, Bill, I know you're in the insurance industry," and blah blah blah. And he says, "I've been an agent now for about a year, and I'm selling final expense over the phone." And he starts telling me about the agency and what he does and this and that. And he says, I'm getting a great commission, and they're sending me leads that are okay, but they're free leads, and the commission's great. And I said, Paul, what's the commission payout? And he says, Bill, they're paying me 220% commission. And I've been in this industry for over 20 years. We all know 220% commission doesn't exist. Okay, it's not true. So there's some kind of gray area here. So I said, Paul, 220%. I said, so let me give you an example. If you write a case that's $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year, you're going to get 220% of $1,200 of annual premium. And he says, no, Bill. He said, what I would get is 220% of the first month's premium. And I said, wait a minute, Paul. I said, that's not a great deal. I said, so you're getting 220% of the first month's premium. What about the other 11 months? And he said, well, I didn't even know that the carriers pay commission on the remaining 11 months. I said, absolutely. And he tells me the company name, and it's Lumico, which our street agent grid is like 100% commission on 12 months of premium. So he couldn't believe it. He was beside himself. Obviously, now he's signing up under Levinson, and that wasn't even the purpose. But the bottom line is, don't be fooled by these crazy ads. I got a text message from another agent last night saying, hey, there's this digital agent expo they're having in Vegas, for 2 days, and they teach you all the ins and outs of selling online and over the phone and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, send me the info. Let me take a look at it. It's $800 to attend their expo, and they're an agency, which is crazy. As you know, our expo is free. Okay, and make sure if you fall for any of this stuff, which, I'm not saying we're the only ones in the country that do what we do. Yes, we have some good competitors, okay, but all I'm saying is if you have a contract outside of Levinson, make sure you get something in writing that says you can transfer, you can get a release at any time, and make sure that you don't pay any fees up front, because that's crazy. They're making money on your business, plus they're going to collect a fee. That's absolutely absurd. So anyway, just have your eyes open. All right, 3 contests. Don't forget, write 1 Lincoln Financial application within 30 days. We're going to send you a few free orphan leads. If you transfer Lincoln Financial over to Levinson or any other company and write your first app, we're going to send you a batch of exclusive free leads. Then if you take a screenshot of you subscribed to our podcast, we're going to send you one of our 3 free sales books today. So email that over to me. We're going to end with our Positive Tuesday quote. Obviously, this is Thursday, but as you know, every single week on Tuesday, I post these live quotes on all social media, all websites. We're going to end with this. The unexpected ones are usually the ones that do the unbelievable. Go out and do whatever it takes. Have a great week, a good weekend, and great